What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another WARFRAME video. So we got the new Volatile Recompense augment for Kullervo. With this augment, Kullervo's having a great time at level 10,000, where survivability was an issue before, it no longer is an issue, so you got damage and big survivability. Additionally, we're going to talk about slam attacks since their change, what's been nerfed, what's been buffed, and how are they actually in mission. So let's hop right into this stuff. But before we do, make sure to sub this channel, do daily WARFRAME video uploads, build videos, news videos, all that kind of stuff. You're in the right place for WARFRAME content. We'll be a weekly reset video tomorrow night for the weekly reset. Alright, so let's start things off with what's going on with this new Kullervo augment. So basically, before Kullervo had the issue when you try to do a really high level mission like you're seeing in the footage right now, he had a survivability issue because he has no shields, he has overguard from second ability, but the thing about his second ability, you have to cast it every time you want to get overguard, and enemies can shoot through it instantly at this level. Now the new augment called Volatile Recompense basically makes Kullervo's second ability that gives him overguard like Aqua Blades from Ureli. It constantly rotates around you, constantly giving you overguard, no recasting required, as long as you're in the duration of the ability, because the duration of the ability is affected by duration mods. So that being said, we constantly are getting overguard as long as enemies are relatively nearby us, and whenever our overguard goes down, we instantly get it back because that's just how the augment works. So let's go ahead and show how this, I mean, you're seeing right now how it works in mission. You basically get shot, your overguard breaks, you get it back immediately, and then you can just keep doing this over and over again. It actually gives him good survivability, which he was lacking massively before. He has crazy damage, but he has no survivability. It's because the shields are gone. It's just, this build has like no HP or armor on it too, so yeah. Additionally, you can also see in the background footage too, the Magistar is being used. The Magistar was the old meta for slam attacks, and it probably is still kind of the meta for slam attacks, because we could do a larger AoE than before. Before the maximum AoE was like 24, 25 meters, I've gotten 28 meters or further with this current change. So let's hop in to the builds discussion stuff. As you can see, we can definitely face tank level 10,000 in the background, which I literally get this res off right here while being shot at by level 10,000s as Kullervo. If that doesn't make him tanky, I don't know what is. So yeah, let's get into the sim and talk about these builds. Okay, so I've also got one of the new weapons equipped, the Scyotid. We'll talk about that in a second here. So as far as Kullervo's build, it is very different from my one a couple weeks ago, or a month ago, with his new skin. I do have his new skin with a new build. First things first, for the Archon Shards, we got all purple Archon Shards for melee crit damage. This is definitely like beyond overkill, especially because our slam attacks are still doing like multi-million, like multiple 100 million damage. You can do billions of damage too. So if you want to be a little more a little bit more comfy, you can throw on some power strength shards maybe here, get some more nourish multiplier, get some more overguard per hit, get some more crit chance from your one. But I like the crit damage stuff because it's really powerful. As far as the build on Kullervo, we've got a new build. My old one from before was, I think, this with all this armor and all that. You can still do that, like Arcane Battery, Arcane Bellicose. But yeah, here's my new build that has no armor. It's meant for level 10,000. So let's talk about all the mods on here. What's so good about these mods? So the new augment is called Volatile Recompense. Second ability, Recompense Augment. Daggers whirl in a ring around Kullervo for 25 seconds, slashing nearby foes and dealing blast damage and status effects before returning to the ring. So basically, they will damage the enemies, give you overguard, and then they'll go back into like the rotating Aqua Blades thing. I'll just go ahead and show you that in practice here. We'll summon in some enemies too. So we basically just might as well activate Nourish to get that energy, but you just basically activate the ability. See how the daggers are hitting enemies relatively far away? That's where range is an important part of the build. So very easy. You also might see a AoE thing going out. That's my new Arcane Truculence that gives me maximum viral stacks whenever I get a good amount of overguard. So very nice. We got the new Scyotid Secondary here. Very nice for grouping enemies up. Now, if you are looking to play Kullervo without slams, the Scyotid can be very nice because the Scyotid will group them up. You can use your third ability, Collective Curse, to link them together, and then they're so dead at that point. If you have like the Hate Incarnate or a Scythe melee, group them up, or it takes a little ammo, group them up, Collective Curse, and then like Slam Attack, or like Heavy Attack, and they're all going to be super dead. So yeah, Scyotid, very cool, but it's good for DPS and for utility, so we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Now as far as the build, like I was saying, we have that new mod right here, but the rest of the build is very important because, like I was showing you there, range mods do affect how far away these daggers are to hit enemies if they're not right next to you in melee range. So we got almost maximum range, and with this almost maximum range, we have 18.8 meters. Yes, we could throw on Augur Reach for even more range, but I don't think any of these mods are really worth taking off for Augur Reach. Another thing you might notice too is that there's no rolling guard on this build, and I did level 10,000 without dying once. If you are not as used to playing level 10,000 missions in Warframe, I'd recommend you put on Rolling Guard, because there are... this is not a foolproof method. This is an easy method. It's not a foolproof method. It's not bulletproof. You basically get 0.5 seconds of invincibility whenever this breaks, and it takes about a 1 second to get the overguard back. So you want to have a little bit of, a little bit of peace of mind that you're not getting just destroyed by damage when your overguard's down. So you can throw a Rolling Guard over like Energy Nexus, I guess. The reason I like Energy Nexus is because we have Archon Stretch and Energy Nexus giving us 5 energy regen per second, but then Nourish multiplies that by 2.1, so we're at like 12 energy regeneration per second, not even pick up any orbs, so no equilibrium needed on here. Additionally, we've got Prime Flow, so we can cast our energy or abilities when we need to. It's only 77 energy to cast Recompense, and then, like, it stays active for 38 seconds on this build. So you could definitely, get away with having not as much energy economy, but if you have no energy, you're basically dead. You need to be able to recast this, so I thought it was worth putting on there. Blind Rage for big power strength to help us get a big crit chance on our 1, decent overguard per hit on our 2, and then also massive energy multiplier and viral damage on our 4, which is Nourish from Grendel. Collective Curse doesn't really need that much. Doesn't need that much power strength, but you could jam some more if you want. That's where Power Strike Shards could be good. Overextended Archon Stretch, those less hit enemies with daggers are really far away, so we're not only in melee range to get our overguard back. Archon Continuity, this mod could be replaced with the other Naira mod, the slam damage mod, but I found since the Naira mods got changed, I don't really need them as much. Additionally, we'd lose a lot of duration if I put that on there. We'd go from like 38 second Nourish to 28 second Nourish, and then Recompense would lose like 8 seconds off of it. So it's up to you. If you want 150% more melee, 150% more slam damage, but lose a big chunk of duration, you could do that as well. Now, as far as the last couple of mods on here, we got Umbral Intensify. Now, I have an Umbra form on Kullervo. I'm not taking it off. You could maybe put on Precision Intensify instead, but this works totally fine. Now, as far as the new mods on here, the new Arcane, we got Arcane Truculence. When gaining 3,000 or more overguard threshold, release a 30-meter radial attack that applies maximum viral status procs. This also stuns enemies, and it does not go through walls. So basically, we're using this because, like I said, there is some downtime in the overguard. You're not going to be. It's not an entirely foolproof method. So once you get overguard, like a 3,000 overguard, it releases a viral AOE that stuns enemies. They'll stop shooting you. Now, overguard enemies won't be enemies that have overguard won't be stunned, but yeah, they should hopefully be dead pretty soon too. So very good Arcane for Kullervo here, because we're losing our overguard, we're getting our overguard back. Lose it, get it back. Over and over again. It's quite nice for this, although a little bit redundant since we already have viral procs from other sources. Arcane Fury for big melee damage. It's just useful for slam attacks. And for the rest of the build, we have the Torid. This is my backup one in case slams are really, really nerfed. It's the Torid Incarnon with the perks being Final Fusillade, Swift Deliverance, and Striver's Edge. Yeah, I didn't really use this that much, but it is pretty good with the Scyotid to group enemies up and then kill them with the Blast proc. So we got Corrosive Blast on here, and enemies get grouped up, and then they're going to explode onto each other, basically. Scyotid, the new signature weapon of Scyotid, the Secondary, it's really, really nice. I think it's a must-run weapon, actually. So as far as the build on here, I'd probably change the build up a little bit more in the future, but it's a DPS build. If you want to do a Fulmination build, it's going to make the AoE pull in further, but that wasn't usually in this video. So yeah, as far as the DPS build, though, I have a multi-shot, mag capacity, damage Riven. If you don't have a Riven, just put on Hornet Strike in that slot instead. It's probably going to be more damage, actually. But yeah, as far as what this thing does, it groups enemies up with the alt fire, which is pretty nice. So additionally, you can use the primary shot just to do some DPS, and then with all the procs we have in here, it's good for galvanized shots. We got Accelerate Isotope, Magnetic Might. This thing's got built-in toxins. We got Electric Mind here for corrosive. We got Corrosive, Radiation, Magnetic Puncture, and then we throw on Nourish with Viral. We have a bunch of procs to get a bunch of damage. Secondary Enervate, that's on here because it's good. But you can definitely change this build up to go more focused and corrosive if you want to. This Accelerate Isotope mod's not really needed. But yeah, as far as how this weapon works, the primary shot is a rapid fire, like, damage focus setup, and the alt fire is a grouping tool. There's the primary shot right there. Pretty good. And this is also with no arcane precision too, so we're missing like 3% damage. But yeah, pretty decent. This can kill level 10,000. I wouldn't say it's the best DPS one for level 10,000, that's for sure. But yeah, it can definitely get the job done. As far as throwing stuff are concerned, this is a very, very versatile one, and I do consider a must-have weapon. So because it's good for DPS, it's good for utility. It's basically a new version of the Epitaph as far as I'm concerned. So very, very nice weapon right there. We're just basically using that. I use this so I can have it for some footage for a video, to be honest. So very nice stuff. And for the Magistar, let's talk about how these got nerfed. So same exact perks as before, same exact build as before. Slam Radius, Critical Parallel, blah, 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 blah. Corrosive Build. melee exposure. Now let's talk about how these got nerfs. Now, the way the slam attacks work now is that they're going to be doing the radius based off of how high you were off the ground that you hit when you slam attack. So, for example, let's say I jumped. Let's say I was doing the old meta. I wasn't jumping like at all. So this is the old meta. I'm surprised I hit that one enemy. Slam attacks have less range than a normal melee when you jump like this. Let's play Pablo's little game now. Let's go ahead and show what you're supposed to do now. So we're gonna jump 11 meters into the air. Now you see what happens. So if you do like the old meta, the jump like a meter into the, not even a meter in the air, you get that range. If you jump as high as Pablo wants you to jump, you get more range than before. And yes, it is more range than before if you do jump into the air. Additionally, let's talk about why Kullervo is so good with slam. So now that he has survivability covered with his new augment, he also has massive slam attack damage because of his first ability, Wrathful Advance. We teleport up, we slam down, we teleport up, we slam down. They're just going to be dead over and over again. And this also will work on other frames too, because this ability is actually Kullervo's helmet. So yes, you could just be the slam king as Kullervo, and you're also big survivability. He's set for level 10,000 now, so really good stuff there. I've been having a lot of fun playing Kullervo too, so yeah, guys, I highly recommend you get this new augment. It's a must-run augment Kullervo. It makes level 10,000 Kullervo actually viable, and that's really, really awesome. So, as far as slam attacks, there are times where it feels really, really awkward. Like if you're in a hallway where the ceiling is like 6 meters, there's just no way you can get the maximum slam attack radius. But when you're in a big room like the Void Cascade rooms, you can get that maximum radius very, very easily. So, yeah, as far as the rest of the stuff on here, I did show you the Magistar. Here's the companion. This is going to help you stay alive. This is Panzer Vulpaphyla. And as far as his abilities that make us stay alive better, he's got Viral Quills. He's also got Martyr Symbiosis, the more important one here. Drains and restores health from corpses within 25 meters up to 40% of your health. If your health falls below 10%, companion will down itself to heal you. Another extra layer of survivability in case your Overguard is not really doing what it's supposed to do. The rest of the build is pretty standard. Just give me some more orbs, give me some more fire rate, give me some more crit damage. And give me some vacuum too, that's really important. And also give me some double loot too. For the rest of the stuff on the Panzer Cat's claws, he's not really attacking stuff, but he's got shocking claws. This means that when he throws out his viral quills, this gives us an electric proc for our Archon stretch to give us some more energy regen. So between that and Energy Nexus, it's really, really nice. So yeah, I think that's basically it for the video, guys. Kullervo is definitely on the table now for level 10,000. I quite enjoy him. I had a lot of fun playing him last night, actually, because like I said, I didn't die. I did go down a couple times. I'll say that. Like if I was like goofing around fighting a Thrax ghost that was already dead and I was getting shot at in the background, you need to have enemies relatively close by to keep getting the survivability out of them, which is kind of interesting because it's like enemies. You need enemies to survive, but you also enemies can kill you too. So it's interesting, a little bit dynamic like that. But yeah, guys, I think Kullervo is definitely worth running at level 10,000 if you have this augment. Slam attacks. I'll have another video on slam attacks in the future, but slam attacks feel good with Kullervo if you teleport in the air, but they feel literally terrible if you do the old meta of just jump a meter, not even a meter off the ground, which is what the nerf was supposed to change, so there you go. And then slam attacks are actually buffed if you jump really, really high in the air. So I'll see you guys next video. I love Kullervo now. Really cool skin too, and we'll have another video on some augments, and maybe Invigorated Araxia on Monday. Weekly reset video tomorrow. See you guys soon. Peace.